Okay, so I am Monica Gillespie, and your name is?
Jonathan Cruz.
And what do you teach here?
6th grade science.
Perfect. So this is a pre-conference observation. I just have a few questions for you, and we can go from there.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to share anything good before we get started?
Yeah. So I have been running.
Yeah.
Every day for like almost the past month. All of January, I've been running. So brought it into February.
Heck yes.
A lot more than I thought I would do. A lot of consistency there. Doing it.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
My good thing, I think, I got my hair done yesterday, and so I feel fresh and more like
Yes.
myself, ready for springtime. I
Yes,
don't
yes.
like. I'm sad that the weather is changing to be cold next week. This is
I
ridiculous.
know. I didn't like that.
Okay, so what are you currently working on in your lesson plans?
So currently we started our Unit 6, which is Earth's Resources, and we're about 2.5 weeks into it. We're going to our 3rd week of this 4-week unit.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. It actually helped that another class that they're in has been talking about something similar, which is reduce, reuse, recycle. So they've been doing a project there and kind of tying into what we're doing here with how to actually manage those resources and what it does in terms of like cause and effect with the environment.
Oh, perfect. So they're kind of hearing the vocabulary more than once.
Yeah.
Cool. What are some objectives that you'll be addressing in your lesson?
So the TEAC itself is to research and describe why resource management is important in reducing global energy poverty, malnutrition, and air and water pollution. And so our main objective that we're covering for this upcoming project that we're discussing is I can research non-renewable and renewable resources using Chromebook and Notes. The way that we came up with that is because we do want them researching, and so we're going to be giving them a specific topic, whether it's malnutrition, energy poverty, or air and water pollution in a specific country, so they can broaden just not what they're used to seeing. So outside of Texas, outside of the United States, there is other places in the country that are experiencing malnutrition, something that they might not be used to, because everybody has a phone nowadays. Everybody has access to food to them. So trying to broaden them to really see what other places are like.
I think that is something difficult to get them to understand as 6th graders is like that this is not everywhere. Like, and not everyone rides a bus to school, and not everyone lives in a house with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and has running water. I know that a lot of them struggle with the idea of like kids their age not having enough to eat. I think that's very hard to grasp.
Even not even having a phone.
Right.
Like not even having a phone to some of the kids is like weird. And I'm like,
and it's 2025. But it's normal for them. They don't know any different. But it is, that's something difficult. It's challenging to teach that like it's different for everybody. Like there's some kids that go to school with no shoes on, and that's normal.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if you had shoes. Okay, cool. Where is the lesson in the context of the plans?
So the project is more towards the end of our unit. So it's a 4-week unit. So it is in our 3rd week of it. The reason why we did that was because we want to give like the first 2 weeks to like kind of really learn more about that vocabulary, get that understanding, do some more hands-on things to kind of grasp it more. And then that 3rd week and 4th week to really show me what you know. That 4th week, us testing, 3rd week, them doing that research project. So really getting to see what do they know, can they reflect, can they share that information, can they not? So if they are struggling on the project that 3rd week, then I know that 4th week when it is time to test, okay, we do gotta kind of clean up these areas because during the project, they weren't really understanding malnutrition. And now I know when it's time to review, okay, cool, we have malnutrition to study up on before we test, just to really make sure that they do provide their best effort on that test.
And it's a week-long project?
Yes, it's
3 or 4 days?
3 days worth of research, 1 day to present.
Okay, they are presenting.
Yes.
Okay, very nice. How will you assess whether or not students met the objectives in the lesson?
So for this project, we do have a rubric built. One of those days, the first day that they get the project, we are going to review the rubric just so they know this is what we're looking for and everything of that nature. From there, we'll be given the rubric themselves. They could check off what they have and visually see, okay, I have this, I don't have this. I need to make sure I get that part. And then when it's time for me to grade it, there's no confusions on, oh, I got a 70, I got a 60, or I got 100. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't have that. I do understand why I got the 70. Mm-hmm. I did have all that. I understand why I have my 100. Just so they know how it's being scored, I know how it's being scored, and there is no debate on what the score actually was.
So there's holding them somewhat accountable.
Yes.
So if they choose to look at YouTube or Edpuzzles all day for the next 3 days, then and their project will reflect that.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, I like that. Is there anything in particular you want me to look for during your observation? Do you have behaviors? Do you have you want to do classroom management? Is there anything going on with that?
So I know obviously you come to whichever class you decide to show up to. Obviously all of the classes have their little hiccups and challenges here and there. So would definitely love to see, like, maybe there is something I am not doing fully proficient. If there's something I could be doing better in terms of classroom management, or I feel like for the most part I am doing pretty well in that aspect, but sometimes there are some students that it is a bit of a hassle to make sure that they are on top of their task, and maybe you have some type of things I could use for that specific student or students.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you plan on kind of wrapping it up? How will you know that your kids have hit the mark on the expectation and the TEK, and just making sure they're fully absorbing the information?
Yeah, so the whole ask for this project is for them to really show us that they do understand it, that they're able to go use their resources, find information out in the real world, and really bring it back to the whole class and really talk to us about it. I don't want just them reading off of a little script. I want them to really educate themselves on it, really read up on that malnutrition, the energy poverty, how it is affecting those people, and really kind of compare to themselves. Like, they know they get to go home every day with the heater or the AC and be warm and toasty or nice and cold, whereas other people, they don't have that access. They can't just put their phone on the charger and know that they have it the next day. And so really getting them to see that there are causes and effects to everything that's out there. And so based off of how they do perform on this project, seeing if, the large majority is having a passing average, really able to articulate what their findings were, that's going to really show me that they met the mark for this standard. If I see that there was more struggles with really finding good research and providing good information over their topic, then we might have to spend a little bit more time really getting it together.
Right.
So because like I said, the next week they're testing, and I don't want them to do bad on the test that I know that they've been working really hard to get to.
Okay, is this an individual project or is this in groups?
So it is going to be in groups. So it's going to be from 2 to 4. Okay. I don't want nobody working alone because I do think that it is a lot of information that they are going to have to gather. And I think that when they do get to collaborate together, it brings the best, especially when it comes to presenting. I know that they're 6th graders, 11 to 13 years old. They're very nervous to go up there all alone and present. Yeah. So having somebody there, at least one person, will hopefully open them up to be able to present the best that they can. Because I know it does get scary. I was there before. I used to be scared. I used to be nervous 11, too. Right? Yeah, I used to be nervous too, going in front of the whole class. So that was the whole idea of doing groups. So for most classes, I'm letting them choose the groups. Okay. The classes that I know that they probably won't make the best decisions,
Right.
I'll choose the groups myself, just to ensure that I know that there's going to be working happening
Something
throughout the
gets
whole
done.
week. Yes, because those classes, I let them choose their own groups, they probably won't
Choose
be
their
working.
besties.
Yeah, they're just going to choose the besties and not
Yeah.
really work that well.
Yeah. Okay, and then reflecting on what they've learned at the end of the project, what is your goal with that? Are they going to be able to, like, is the idea able for them to have the ability to kind of not necessarily recite the vocabulary words in the definition, but be able to give real world examples? Is that something that we're looking for?
Yeah, so with the whole TEAG talking about researching and describing, it definitely sounds like it's not something that they just want them to be able to recite what the definition of malnutrition or energy poverty. That it wants them to be able to really apply what they learned. That if I go chop down 100 trees, that's going to affect the air quality in my area. If I start building a whole bunch of factories, it's going to start polluting the areas. If I start throwing trash in the water, it's going to pollute the water and things of that nature. And really just getting them to really see that for everything that happens, there's something else that's going to happen in the
Right. And that ties in kind of to sixth grade's first couple units. A reaction has a reaction, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to discuss before your observation?
Other than like I said, just keep an eye out what I can be doing better.
Okay.
Whether it's classroom management, maybe there are certain things that I do know that they have been struggling with the whole malnutrition thing. Maybe it is something that I'm doing on my end. Maybe I'm not really breaking it down to like the level that they need to hear it in. Maybe I am overcomplicating it. The arrangements of the seatings.
Okay.
So I know I've talked with other team members, but there are some students that they don't have. So just really trying to find that good pairing and really getting them like in the best place possible to succeed in the classroom.
Because I know just through the hallways and things like that from students, like you have a great relationship with them. And I'm sure, I haven't heard of any issues in the classroom essentially. Are there any other special circumstances you want me to know about prior to coming in?
No, for the most part, our class is very, I think, on board with what's expected.
Okay.
Backpacks always in the front of the room, no phones or nothing on them at all. They all know the expectations on how to come in the room, leave the room. So nothing out of the ordinary for the way that the classroom is ran.
Okay.
Some students do have special seating assignments based off of prior experiences in the classroom.
Right.
So some may be sitting alone, some may be sitting near me, depending on what their needs are for the class. So that's the main thing, just special seating assignments for some of the students.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I look forward to observing you in the next couple of days. Thank you so much.
Yes, no problem. Thank you.